Hey guys, my name is Zan and I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to do a little instructions on how to back up and restore all of your data from one custom ROM to another with ease and with no complicated Google backups or anything like that. And this tutorial will also cover this very special little trick by me on how to install Netflix, which is a very strict streaming apps on phones with no Google Play certified. Okay, so let's begin. So what do you need to know before doing this? So it's really simple. Now the process of backup and restoring data have always been something that is very overlooked because of just how unimportant it is to many people. But this method is really easy and very simple. And best of all, it does not require any Google involvement in this, right? You do not need to have any Google backup, Google restore, anything required. And plus, this step is really it's just really offline, right? And it backups and restores all of your data, unlike Google Backup, which just remembers how many apps that you have and needs to backup. That's all, right? This one backs up all of your data, right? And the beauty of this whole backup restore thing is an app called Migrate GPE, which is a very new, it's actually not new, but it's doing really well in terms of what it's promised to do. And I really waited this long to show you guys how to actually make a very detailed instruction for you guys. Alright, so what other requirements do you have? Now it really depends on now the rate of work, right? The probability, the success rate sort of depends on what ROMs you're switching to, right? Now, luckily, there's no really any restrictions on switching from like a MIUI to Austin West or AOSP custom ROMs, or vice versa. But you do need to keep in mind the Android version that you're going from and to. If you're going from between two identical version of Android, for example, you're going from Android 10 to Android 10, Android 9 to Android 9, 8 to 8, 7 to 7, then you are at the very peak of success rate because it's going to work really well, right? And of course, if you're going from Android 8 to 9, 9 to 10, or from a lower version of Android to a newer version of Android, then it's going to work as well. However, if you're downgrading from Android 10 to Android 9 or 9 or 8, for example, this phone, if you're going from AOSP custom ROM to stock ROM, for example, then it's not going to work. It's still going to work though, but most of the apps will crash. Alright, and of course, a bit of good luck is always appreciated. Alright, so let's begin. So first of all, you just need to launch the Migrate GPE app, and then you're going to grant all of the root permissions and usage permissions. Alright, now of course you do need to root your phone, alright, because this is a very system level action and it requires a deep penetration into the root directory, so you do need to root your phone first. It's not too hard though. If you have for recovery, you just go ahead and install the images zip files, and you're good to go, just like that. There's no complications whatsoever. And then you're gonna go back to the GPE app. You can open that app up and then grant everything that it asks you, from root permission to usage access. Okay, and then you're going to come up with be greeted by a screen to choose, right, in a list of apps to choose from and to back up and restore. Of course, all the user apps are going to be very safe, right? There's no need for you to be worried about those apps. Of course, one little thing that's kind of unfortunate is that with the case of Facebook, Messenger, and Instagram, those apps will always crash. So you just have no other way but to go ahead, to not back up its data, right? Do not back up its data because it will crash, okay? No matter what. I actually tested it a little while back. Otherwise, every other apps are safe. Now, in terms of system apps, there are some that are safe, like stock Google apps or stock dialer or camera. They should be fine, but it kind of varies a lot. But again, they are not as safe. And then lastly, you can be greeted by a screen to allow backup some other miscellaneous stuff, namely about text messages, contacts, and ADB state, and default keyboard, default apps. Of course, if you want to back up those, you can do that as well. It's totally safe. And then you'll be greeted, and then it will tell you that it will take quite some time and such storage size to back up, and then it will do its job. Alright, it's gonna take a while, but be patient. And if you have if your backup is too large, if you back up too many apps, then it will be split into multiple parts, alright, which you do need to flash all of during the tour process. Alright, so once you got everything backed up, you can now switch ROMs, right? Now you can, if you don't know how to flash ROMs on the Note 5 Pro, I have a dedicated video for that. But in this video, in this scenario like this, I'm going to skip all that and skip all the way. Now once you finish flashing your ROM, right? Now one more thing I need to clarify for you first. You can, now in the backup process will involve backup to a certain location, right? You can back up to a SD card or internal storage. But keep in mind that if you are if you backed up this to an internal storage, like the default location or the downloads folder, you do need to, you must not wipe the internal storage partition in Tour Recovery, right? When you wipe your ROM, your previous ROM, do not choose to wipe the internal storage, okay? That's the big warning. Otherwise, your whole backup will be gone, and you'll regret that. All right, so once the whole backup thing the whole installation of your new custom ROMs has finished, you do need to install all. The first thing that you need to flash is the Magis, right? Because you do need Magis to back up and restore everything. So you flash that first, and then secondly and lastly, flash all of the Migrate backup files in your directory, right? Now once all of that is done, you can now reboot back to your new ROM, and then once you've set up everything in your new ROM, right, there will be a notification, and there will be an app called Migrate Helper. Okay, now once you're in that app, you need to of course grant permissions and stuff, and then you will and then it will all do its own stuff, which is restoring all of the app's data, text messages, and etc. back to your new ROM, including the app Netflix, if you plan to do that. And so yeah, that's done. And the beauty of it is you do not need to set up your account or anything like that on your new phones, because it's been saved, right? Except for, I guess, Twitter and Reddit, because they for some reason got locked out as soon as you restore to a new phone. But other stuff like settings or night mode settings in Reddit should be intact. So yeah, that's pretty much the tutorial for us. This is very simple. Alright, so that is pretty much tutorial. I really hope that you enjoy this video. If you do, hit the like button down below if you love it. Subscribe for more interesting videos by the Note 5 Pro by me. Alright, thank you and goodbye.